Exclusive contract from Feilu Fiction Network Novel. NBA. Shocking Jordan. At the beginning, Li Luyao traveled to 2002 and won the 2KOL2 collection card system, which is the most exciting NBA in Feilu. Attended the draft with Dayao and knocked out Jordan at the beginning. 03 Platinum Generation. Sorry, a great god appeared in 02. Iverson. Li is the most handsome man I have ever seen playing basketball. Kobe. I'm second, Jordan is third, and Li Luyao is first. Michael Jordan. Although I retired, Li is here. LeBron James picked up the lighter and said, "Hello brotherly smokes." Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. 2KOL2 Full Burst System. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. 2KOL2 Full Burst System, New York, United States. Madison Square Garden Training Center. Pa, 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 pa. Accompanied by the sound of dribbling, the rookies who were scheduled to participate in the NBA draft in 2002 are conducting a joint trial here. Young men, let me see your talents. Today is the last joint trial. Hurry up. The draft will be held in half a month. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The NBA officials in charge of draft matters roared at the players wearing various jerseys on the field, saying that this year was the most mediocre in quality in nearly 5 years, and he didn't want the media to underestimate this rookie season. The seats around were filled with scouts in suits and leather shoes, as well as some team managers. They all looked at a yellow-skinned 2.26-meter giant on the field. After the official roared, he buried his head and accelerated the turn-back run, running faster than some defenders, becoming the most eye-catching scenery on the field. Yao Ming. Top scorer is popular. Giant from China. In just 14 days, the 2002 NBA draft will begin. Olajuwon's retirement has made the Rockets urgently need a tall insider to inherit the Rockets' insider tradition, so he is likely to be selected by the Rockets in the first round, first overall pick. Will he be the first Chinese basketball player to enter the NBA as the top scorer? Almost everyone is discussing this mysterious Eastern Giants insider player. No matter what others say, Yao Ming is diligent in participating in the trial training and has performed excellently in all aspects. Li Luyao, who was sitting off the field waiting to play, was not so lucky. Both players from China and this year's draft, he is like a supporting player, just like the only report from American media about him. Li, a Chinese defender who came to try out with the light of Yao, predicted that he would not be selected. Good ball. On the 4v4 training ground over there, rookie Stoudemire fiercely cleaved Huashan's Buckle Buzel, and Li Luyao stood up like a fan to cheer. The first snow of 2002 came earlier than usual. A handsome yellow-skinned boy wearing a Huweidong jersey has been sitting off the field, humming a song and feeling bored. His name is Li Luyao. He has traveled through time. Since crossing over in 2020, I was playing 2KOL2 in the middle of the night, sacrificing all my wealth and failing to combine 5 and 6 Jordan. My mindset exploded and I punched my computer the next moment appeared here. After spending some time acknowledging the fact that he had traveled, Li Luyao discovered that he had traveled until 2002. Landing is New York. Are you here to participate in the NBA draft? WTF. What about the system? Come out of the system. Li Luyao glanced at the thin version of Dayao, who still appeared youthful and immature on the field, and instinctively called for the golden finger in his mind. According to the process, it should be like this. It's better not to travel without a golden finger. Ding. After Li Luyao finished thinking, an electronic prompt sound came to his mind. What should come will always come. Li Luyao's eyes lit up and he sat in the back row to avoid rapid changes in his body after being given some beauty serum. It wouldn't be good to be taken directly to the research institute. Ding, the host has successfully activated the 2KOL2 collection card breakthrough system, and the system is merging. 100%. System integration completed. Congratulations to the host for having a 2KOL2 collection card breakthrough system, 2Conline 2 system. What the hell? Li Luyao thought to himself that he couldn't get rid of this annoying game even after crossing time, but he was curious about what the system features were. Ding. System introduction enabled. A very advanced electronic image appeared in Li Luyao's mind, followed by a systematic explanation. It has to be said that this scene is very similar to the game graphics of 2Col2, with a star card backpack and a star attribute page. Simply put, this system is a combination of card collection and breakthrough systems. The host can obtain a star card by playing against the star, and each time they play, they can obtain a one-shot star card. The attributes of this one-shot star card can be owned by the host. It's exactly the same as the game. Li Luyao's pupils dilated, thinking that this would also work. So he's familiar with this. Sure enough, what the system said next confirmed his idea. The host can randomly select a player from an opponent, note. Only an opponent, in an NBA-level game to receive their stunt star card. Once selected, the player's attributes will become their own. Now I'm playing a game with the Wizards, can I choose Jordan? Li Luyao felt a little excited in his heart. Is this about to become a superstar god? Especially in this era, many football stars have not yet retired, and one card is very expensive, right, rare. It's great to be able to choose any star you want. According to the system, he can only compete with them to collect cards, and saving money is useless. Sure. Okay, but E2 is not very useful. Li Luyao was just happy for a moment. Even E2 Jordan was scolded by San Tu Boyang. This kind of pain news-operated game will not have a qualitative change until it reaches the top level. Is it necessary to play NBA-level games? Can't we even go back and play CBA? He's definitely out of the draft, how can he win an NBA game? Li Luyao already knows his current situation. He is an 18-year-old member of the Imperial City Youth Training Camp, and it's amazing to be selected. And next, the system still introduced the upgrade system on its own. Each star card has 7 levels from 1 to 7 spikes, which can be upgraded pairwise. For example, 2 1-spike Kobe cards can be merged into 2-spike Kobe cards, and all attributes will be bonus. If you have 64 1-spike cards, you will have the attributes of a full 7-spike star. Stop talking, that's how I traveled through time. Can I cross levels and merge cards? Asked Li Luyao. In the 2K game, there is a lot of gambling dogs, and both E2 and Leo2 have people who want Chi2, so he wants to ask if this system can level up synthesis now. It's not because he's also a dog gambler, but because 64 times is too many. Michael Jordan retired this season, and even if he could make it to the NBA, he would only play a maximum of 4 games against the Wizards, which means he would receive 4 cards from the system. For 1-tier Jordan cards can only obtain 3-tier Jordan attributes, and even if you are constantly full of European energy, you can only get a maximum of 4-tier Jordan attributes. In that case, it's impossible to achieve the great feat of Chi2 Jordan. You should know that after this season, the basketball god will no longer touch basketball, let alone play professional games. I didn't feel the power of Chi2 Jordan before crossing, how could I feel it again after crossing? System answer. This system allows for cross-level card combinations, with a certain chance of completing the upgrade of the star card. If the combination fails, lower-level cards will be damaged. However, cards of the same level can be upgraded 100% successfully. Understood. Li Luyao thought to himself that this system is only owned by him. If there were really high burst star cards, low burst cards wouldn't be much use. This is the game of high play, and he immediately discovered a small loophole in the system. For a big heart player like him who dares to level up with a Jordan card, is it fearless? Before coming, he lost a 50,000 renminbi worth of 5-2 Jordan card due to a failed card combination, which was a fatal blow to his subsistence class. So next, let's try whether you are the European emperor or a non-chieftain. NBA, it's necessary to play. So, the system, do you have a beginner's gift package? PS, newcomers, new books, flowers, recommended tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Chapter 2. Light stained with Yao's name. Sorry, You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Light stained with Yao's name. Sorry, I am just like myself. Afterwards, the system also displayed a handsome feature of a great move, which is to automatically activate the star skill badge after obtaining the 3-spike star card, and possess the skill. This is also a feature of the 2K game, and Li Luyao was the first to think of some incredible goals in the game, which can only be scored after activating the badge skill. San 2 has a copper badge, a 5-2 silver badge, and a 7-2 gold badge. Superstars randomly generate purple badges. The higher the level of breakthrough, the more powerful the badge is. Li Luyao is very clear about this. When it comes to the golden and purple badge, it is no longer just about ball skills, but also many team skills, similar to zones. There is a certain chance to trigger the star badge during the game, and the higher the breakthrough level, the higher the chance of triggering. What does this badge mean? In fact, every player has their own unique skills. Those who eat, such as Ray Allen, will have a bronze badge called Bottom Corner Sagittarius after 3 thrusts. For example, O'Neal's golden badge, Buckle Master, Power Terminator, Back Punisher, and so on, Iverson's silver badge, Stunt Actor. There are also various great moves such as the First Step Master, Ankle Terminator, Cutting Corners, and Dreamy Footsteps. Li Luyao doesn't know what it looks like in real life, but in the game, every time he presses it, he will exclaim in amazement. These are all set by the system based on the star's skill set. When the star performs these actions, there will be a badge bonus. If Parker activates the Giant Killer badge while playing the game, he may be able to intercept the center forward. The more impressive the football star badge, the more beneficial it is. As soon as Luyao thought about the possibility of having many badges around him in the future, he felt amazing. That's all the skill of football stars. Is he going to become the most amazing self-built? But it seems like everything has to be done by oneself. Because the system also has a host incentive mechanism at the end, that is, if Li Luyao achieves success on the NBA field, he can be rewarded with a star card, a lottery opportunity, or even a 100% breakthrough card. Which 100% breakthrough card is Li Luyao interested in? With this, it means you can directly save 32 cards. 1 and 6 protrusions can be directly synthesized into full protrusions. The meaning of this achievement is to score, assist or break records, which means that with this system, one must plain train in order to become stronger. With this in mind, Li Luyao glanced at the field. This was the last joint trial, and he must seize this opportunity. Coach, I want to play basketball. In his past life, he was a member of a fancy basketball team, specializing in performing fancy basketball. Who hasn't had a basketball dream yet? And why did he play 2K before traveling? Isn't it all because of the ultimate love for basketball? How could he not cherish such a good opportunity presented to him now? If you are selected in the draft, you can play on the NBA field. It's so amazing to shine in the NBA with Yao. Just even if he comes to the United States to participate in the draft now, he seems to have some reservations. He was born in the same year as Yang Mi in this world, 86 AD. At the age of 18, he is 1.97 meters tall, weighs 89 kilograms, and has an amazing arm span of 2.11 meters. He is one of the rare top physical talents among yellow guards. You should know that Asian guards are simply not playable in the NBA, and most of them are thin and small. He stands out immediately with his tall and muscular physique, especially his arm span, which is the material for playing basketball. Because of this hardcore talent, Li Luyao was brought to the youth training camp by the Imperial Capital Shugang basketball team. This year, he has indeed benefited from the glory of Dayao, because the Dayao team also hopes to cultivate a defender for the national team, and the Basketball Association also hopes to have an additional defender participate. I chose Li Luyao, who is the youngest, with the best potential and template, to participate in this year's draft, so ESPN's only evaluation of him is not wrong, it is an accessory. However, the then head coach of the national team, Mr. Jiang Xingquan, insisted, "Isn't the United States skilled in cultivating new players? Let them cultivate our most talented defenders." My resume is even more difficult to read. Dayao is a draft that honors and other contestants participate in, while Li Luyao has nothing to do except win the championship in junior high school city-level competitions. That is to say, a rookie who has never played professional competitions. Before leaving the capital, everyone should let Li Luyao perform better in physical tests, make sure not to make mistakes during training, and then try to have the Rockets pack up and take them away. They can practice for a few seasons in the development league. Is this treating me like a little white mouse? Li Luyao thought of this and found it funny. It was indeed an official style, and he even wanted to use Dayao to force the Rockets team to pack up and sign himself. The American people don't eat this trick. They are all capable people who rise to power. If they can't, get out of here. But at this point, everyone's communication was very closed. The NBA had not fully opened up in the Chinese market yet, so he inexplicably came over for public travel. If the system is not activated, he may really be traveling on public funds to see some future NBA giants. But now he has a system. Li Luyao opened the system and glanced at his basketball data. No sight, terrifying low, shooting 39, dunking 28, layup 45, ball control 18, all scores hover around 40, and various basic skills are even below 20. And the average level of NBA players is 60, which is overwhelming. He himself thinks it's difficult because Li Luyao has been playing as a center since he was a child. He was selected by the youth training camp because he didn't think he was tall enough and was directly labeled as a point guard, so he's not very good at dribbling now. As we all know, the basketball education philosophy before Huaxia was that whoever was tall was an insider, but at the level of local team youth training camps, positions were arranged according to height. So, does the system really not have a beginner's gift package? He is a pure beginner here, and various rookie training camps over the past month have shown that he is far from being a qualified NBA rookie. After he finished speaking, the system immediately popped up a prompt. Congratulations on the successful activation of the host system. At the beginning of the game, randomly draw a full player card to increase the bonus, okay. Li Luyao was overjoyed. Should it be like a novel, with a reward of a full-level Jordan card at the beginning? And then go straight to the invincible hands of the Alliance. Do hosts need to draw now? Draw. Li Luyao stood up directly, and the people around him thought he was standing up and cheering because Yao Ming had just faced an inside hook hit. Do they all say that I am in the glory of Dayao? It doesn't exist. From now on, I am the light. The system page spun rapidly and quickly hovered over a 7-pointed star card. Nima. That's it. P.S. Newcomers, new books, flowers, recommended tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Chapter 3. Man Turk 6. Ginobili is here. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Man Turk 6. Ginobili is here. That's it. Not Man 2 Jordan. But it's more interesting than Montu Jordan. Also one of Li Luyao's favorite football stars. Streetball king, Jamal Crawford. Gram 6. Is the opening so cool? A thin, high-dribbling Bulls #1 jersey player appeared in my mind, not Ross, but Crawford, who was selected by the Cavaliers in the 8th overall pick of the 2000 NBA draft and traded to the Chicago Bulls. Ding! The newbie gift pack has been distributed. Congratulations to the host for unlocking the first star card. 7 Crowds Crawford. Buzz. Accompanied by the sound of the system prompt, Li Luyao saw that his attribute page was completely refreshed and changed from gray to bright white. Full attribute refresh. I'm going to become stronger. At this moment, Li Luyao clearly felt that his physical condition was different. Just kidding. This is a player who entered the NBA as the streetball king, and has been playing in the NBA for 20 years with his unpredictable dribbling skills from the initial questioning. Host name. Li Luyao, 18 years old, height. 197 centimeters weight. 89 kilograms arm span 2.11 m star card 7 Crawford star card. Bronze badge. Stunt actor, Dodge Terminator, high difficulty shooting king, fake action king silver badge. Rhythm master, quick stop master, ball control master golden badge. Ankle Terminator purple badge. None achievement rewards. None, wow, cool. Apart from Lu Wei and Li's unattractive and tearful physical fitness, Li Luyao directly possesses all the player badges of 7 Crowds Crawford. That is to say, he now possesses all the ultimate moves of the peak K6. This is Chitu. It can be seen that this is clearly a personal attacking player, and the badge does not have team bonuses such as champion DNA, hot swapping, and unlimited firepower. It is all personal solo skills. There are no purple badges at all, because Crawford is not in the superstar class, but it is definitely enough. In Li Luyao's impression, there are only a few football stars with purple badges. System, does this mean that I now have the strength to become the 8th ranked rookie in 2000? Li Luyao rubbed his nose and glanced at the rookies on stage. If I'm not mistaken, he should be the strongest player in the 2002 rookie lineup on both the outside and inside, right? In theory, it is like this. The system immediately lists the ability attributes of Li Luyao after receiving the bonus of his star card. After listing it, Li Luyao realized that the perfect score for Nima was not 100 speed. 84 bounce. 84 outbreak. 27 power. 40 large heart. 99 ball control. 112 passing. 80 breakthrough. 89 backboard. 30 defense. 51 cover. 39 layup. 89 CIC. 85 3 points. 80 free throw. 91. It can be seen that in terms of defense and blocking, his own attributes are higher than Crawford's, because his physical fitness is indeed explosive, otherwise he would not have stood out among the guard talents selected by the Chinese Basketball Association. It is worth mentioning that the ability of the Big Heart is 99, which is related to his time travel. He has even experienced this kind of thing. Can his heart not be good? If it's not good, you won't sit here peacefully. The highest value is 112 for ball control, which makes him so happy that it explodes. It's about to show off. The weakest point of all guards in Huaxia is that their basic skills are not good, and this will continue to be the case for the next 18 years. On the international stage, I couldn't make it through the first half of the game and would concede the ball if I pressed hard. Later on, I was able to control the ball and lost my shooting ability. I won't name Gua variety, this has been directly compensated for now. This is the ball control level of the American streetball king. Crawford once said, "Unless I want to give you the ball myself, you can never stop my dribbling." A man who can score 51 points in a single game at the age of 39. The only player in history to win the Best Sixth Man award 3 times. The king of nerve knives with various high-difficulty kills. God of bad luck. As a seasoned basketball fan, I dream of having the bad luck of the K6. I used to practice on the field the most. And now, he can showcase himself on the NBA field. And, this is just the beginning. Li Luyao looked at the ceiling happily, his eyes wandering. Hey, Luyao, what are you looking at? Strive for a chance to play. At this moment, Yao Ming finished this round of training and sat next to Li Luyao before patting his shoulder. This startled Li Luyao out of his imagination. Good. It's hard to imagine that this future legendary Chinese football star is now good friends with him. Li Luyao slapped him and smiled. You need to seize the opportunity, you can't be so calm anymore. Yao Ming saw Li Luyao's careless appearance and hurriedly said while wiping a towel. Dayao is 4 years older than Li Luyao, and he is only 22 years old now. He is still a young and energetic young man who loves playing Warcraft. These past few nights, he has been playing games with Li Luyao on a computer with a console that looks like a block. In the past 2 months, the two of them have been flying together, participating in team trials, staying in the same dormitory, and playing dungeons with Warcraft. Dayao has also been helping Li Luyao, and the two naturally became brothers. That's why Li Luyao is known as the shining hero. Compared to Yao Ming, an outstanding rookie in the inner circle, Li Luyao is purely a slacker. It cannot be said that he is not capable of supporting the wall with his mud. He also works very hard, but if he does come here, it seems, not qualified. Li Luyao also knows that having a Chinese teammate in the United States to fight together is much better than breaking into the NBA alone. Moreover, if Luyao becomes a teammate of Dayao's national team in the future, the stronger the defender, the better. Don't worry, there's a chance. If Li Luyao had been worried before, now that he has the strength to stand by, he's not in a hurry. For the last time, there is a chance for knitting. Giant Yao roast beside him. Now he is like a big child. There will be. Li Luyao looked at the sudden restlessness on the field and smiled slightly. 2002 is destined to be an extraordinary year. This year is Yao Mingnian, and Yao has become the all-star vote king. Jordan also retired for the 3rd time this year, completely retired. This is a year of turning points, and in 2003, a bunch of ruthless people will appear. And his appearance will also make this year's NBA completely extraordinary. At this moment, a high-nosed white player with flowing black hair and several NBA officials ran to the sidelines and shouted. Hey, we're missing a defender, who will come? He hasn't fought yet. Yao Ming stood up first and pointed to Li Luyao sitting next to him before realizing. Manu Ginobili. How did he come? Li Luyao stood up in front of everyone's attention on the field. I'll do it. P.S. Newcomers, new books, flowers, recommended tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Chapter 4. Li Luyao vs. the Wind Like Demon, Up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Li Luyao vs. the Wind Like Demon, I Was Deceived. The trial rule at the Madison Square Garden training ground this time is to group all the players together and play 5-5, basically consisting of the players themselves and the opposing 5. It is very free, but also very cruel. Who is the thigh, who is the bastard, and who is the vegetable chicken can be easily seen by the scouts at a glance, so this method was adopted for the last trial to reduce fault tolerance. Although Dayao is very strong, he doesn't know these local American players. Many of them are old acquaintances of NCAA, so Dayao only joined the team in the 3rd round. There are still several players in the team who didn't have a good time in the previous rounds. There's no way, local players are the top players here, and international players can't even find a few to keep warm together. Well, now that there is finally a shortage of people, Dayao can't wait to raise his hand for Li Luyao. Li Luyao couldn't have missed such an opportunity and stood up to say that I could fight. Sure enough, there are no outsiders in this round. There is also a reason why Dayao can only play in the 3rd round, because all the top players in this year's draft are inside players. The overall quality of this draft is average, with players such as Yao Ming, Amare Stoudemire, Carlos Boozer, Karen Butler, Nene Hilario, Luis Scola, and others who have produced results, mostly from the inside. These insiders looked down upon this center from the east before Dayao came out. If I remember correctly, this year's best rookie was Xiaoxi, who was selected by the Suns in 9th overall pick, which shows how mediocre this year's draft is. Note: the lower ranking of the best rookie represents a higher chance of winning in the draft, which is a sign of the draft year. Those who are strong in the draft year are basically determined to be the ones who must be selected, and the draft results and preliminaries will not differ too much. So in this round, there was a situation where we couldn't find a defender, which led to the formation of a team. Mike Dunleavy and a few others were about to vomit when they saw Yao on the sidelines and a young-looking yellow man standing up next to them, all looking over. A few people feel like they haven't seen this rookie wearing a Chinese jersey before, it's too lifeless. Are these players sure they will participate in this training match? Even Dayao hesitated and didn't speak because he glanced at the field. It seemed like Li Luyao was going to confront a spicy man. No wonder no one dares to play. Hey, Luyao, come back first. Dayao said urgently. And the handsome white man who called him walked away without saying a word, pulling Li Luyao. Hey, you also come from China. Hello. Hello, Manu Ginobili. The person in front of him had a strong West first-class first-teeth accent in his English. Fortunately, Li Luyao and his mother had learned English for a long time, which made him understand this awkward accent. He recognized the person in front of him at a glance. Apart from having more flowing and lush hair, it was no different from 18 years later. This is the Argentine sword Manu. A bald man who is not bald is so handsome. Do you know me? Nonsense, who doesn't know the man who stepped on the Dream Team's feet? How did you come to this year's trial site? Didn't you already be selected by the Spurs? Li Luyao put on a white vest on the stage and asked Manu. Manu is wearing a black vest, which means they will be opponents in the upcoming training matches. Sleeping trough. Dayao finally realized why he was missing a guard. Who dares to confront famous gods like Manu? Is this not waiting to embarrass the scouts and indirectly lead to a decline in draft rankings? Me. I just came to the NBA this year, and the Spurs asked me to come here as a trainer first, and also to find out the rhythm of American basketball. Manu didn't say much, but Li Luyao already knew what Paca Vez was thinking. What a Nima chicken thief. Because the NBA is currently in an off-season and the team's training camp has not yet opened, this is to let Manu participate in free training first. The league naturally welcomes this because Manu is the king of Argentine football and has a good popularity. This is the first time he has been recalled by the Spurs. And it's a good thing for scouts from all teams, which can better show how strong the rookie guards are in this season. Sure enough, when a yellow player wearing a strange jersey was pulled onto the field by Manuel, everyone on the field had strange expressions. Karen Butler. Who is this kid? Let's find some abuse. Ginobili's national team teammate Scola said, the courage is commendable. Playing against Manu is like seeking death. Buzel. I want to see the strength of the King of Europe. The scouts below also began to discuss, thinking to themselves, who is this guy? Even if he sees Manu, he dares to go up. Are you crazy? Dayao's agent. You've been deceived. Everyone is waiting to see Shaoli embarrass. Just want to belittle us. NBA President David Stern actually knows Li Luyao and says, hey, Yao tricked him. He wasn't as proactive before. Playing this kind of player, inexperienced rookies will die very tragically. A few years ago, he waited for a day and a night under the CCTV building to open up the Chinese NBA market. Now, he naturally yearns for Chinese players to shine in the NBA. This year, 2 Chinese players have also contributed to his success, but it's really not the right time for Li Luyao to join. You can try to arrange another one for him later. President, the assistant next to him thought to himself, isn't this going through the back door? Do as I say. Li Luyao also knows that he is simply craving for his body. When recognizing his teammates, he asked the system a question. "System, may I ask a question, is this training game considered an NBA-level game?" "Calculate, damn it, get up. A sudden wave of Manu is waving at me. Not to mention whether I can play now, E202 Manu's card is also very strong. Manu is indeed not this year's rookie. He was selected by the Spurs in the second round, 27th overall, in the last round of 1999. At that time, there were no international players playing in the NBA. The Spurs were at the founding level, and after Manu was selected, the Spurs released him for 3 years. In the past 3 years, this wind-like demon has become supernatural. During his 3 years playing in the Italian Serie A, Ginobili won the Italian Serie A Championship, Cup Championship, Champions League Championship, and World Championship runner-up, leading Argentina to become the first team to defeat Dream Team. So this highlights how ruthless Spurs general manager Buford's vision is. 3 years ago, he was just an unknown person, and 3 years later, he forged and upgraded to become a man who suppressed the Dream Team. Later on, some people kept saying that if Manu had participated in the draft in 2002, both in terms of achievement and level, it was likely that he would have snatched away Yao Ming's top pick. He is now a Spurs player and has been officially recalled by the Spurs to play this year. R.C. Buford is also leisurely watching from the sidelines. Maybe the Spurs can continue to search for treasure this year. But soon he stopped being leisurely. Because this unknown Chinese defender actually blew up Manu. Yao Ming. Strong, Li Gu. P.S. Newcomers, new books, flowers, recommended tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Chapter 5. Is ball control so smooth? Huang Fei Pan Pasxiong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Is ball control so smooth? Swinging Pampas Eagle. The King of Bad Luck. New book on the road, Seek Everything. On the field, Li Luyao, Karen Butler, and 3 unfamiliar players formed a white team. The black team consists of 5 people led by Manu and Scola, and the rules are simple. Whoever plays first by 21 points will be replaced. Manu is one of the few competitive players in BB, and as soon as he came up, he shouted to Scola, "Solve the battle in 5 minutes." His national team teammate made an okay gesture to him. Butler patted Li Luyao's butt and asked him to defend against Manu. Li Luyao didn't leave a trace and directly confronted Manu, saying, okay. The black team jumped onto the ball, Manu held it, dribbled up and down, observed the 4 directions, and made a surgical knife-like pass to Diamond Scola, who also had long hair floating in the interior. Scola feigned and flew the opponent, making a steady layup. Stable. Just come up and provide an assist. Li Luyao hasn't moved much yet and hasn't been very defensive, watching the ball quickly pass by his ear. The unique passing vision of European League players. Cool. All the players on the sidelines gathered to watch this year's World Championships. Manu played against Dream 5 alone, ending the winning streak of the U.S. men's basketball team in the World Series. So everyone came to see how the Spirit Snake played. What they didn't know was that 2 years later at the Athens Olympics, this long-haired man even shattered the Dream 6 backcourt of Iverson, Wade, Marbury, and James. Manu turned around to defend against Li Luyao, and without waiting for Li Luyao to demand the ball, Butler passed it directly to the point guard. The point guard threw it in the front court and scored 3 points, but the ball didn't go in. The black team rebounded and handed the ball directly to Manu. Manu turned around and bypassed Li Luyao's side, rushing into the interior to break through and score the ball for Luis Scola. Scola's simple layup was successful. Sudden division. These 2 people have a perfect understanding. The Spurs general manager R.C. Buford is extremely happy to see the black team scoring consecutively. These 2 people are both Spurs. Scola is not wanted by the team this year, and as expected, they are also preparing to select him in the second round, just in time to form the A1 Gunting combination with Ginobili. It's useless for other teams to choose Scola. Scola has a low floor and a short inner line. Only when he's with Manu can he be a little stronger, right? Yao Ming applauded Li Luyao beside him and said, "Steady, steady, don't panic." And Xiao Si and the others were jokingly saying, "Go and ask for the ball, young man, don't stand foolishly." Xiao Cainiao, it's your turn to respond. Dayao's forehead is sweating now. He has tricked Luyao. Luyao can't even defeat Lu Wei. How could he possibly defeat the demon blade? Li Luyao also felt the pressure. Manu's two attacks were very smooth, feeling like a snake. In the moment he was about to mark, he turned one side and passed him. But it's okay, I can also blow you up. There is no such thing as humility in American basketball culture. If you don't take the initiative, you can only passively receive the ball. Originally, it was the point guard who wanted to receive and serve, but Li Luyao just dodged and shouted, "Give it to me." Then the white team gave the ball to Li Luyao from the inside. Wow, take the initiative to get the ball. Let's wait and see if he's directly stolen. A few scouts on the sidelines were laughing, and Huaxia point guards had all tested it. When the most powerful Lu Wei came for trial training, he struggled to move half the court. Not to mention the point guard player from the local youth training camp in China, who has a rhythm of being interrupted every time he runs in front of Manu. However, the art style suddenly changed, and Li Luyao, who received the ball, casually released the racket with a powerful release, and then quickly dribbled the ball to the front court. This is not a big deal. After half-time, Manu rudely forced the ball over and took a big step forward to compress the space, ready to steal. Yao Ming's palms were sweating. Be careful. What surprised everyone was that Li Luyao, who was about the same size as Manu, suddenly took the initiative to find a physical confrontation and switched from back dribbling to left dribbling. With just one big step, he passed Manu's back dribbling. Afterwards, he quickly rushed into the inner line, pretended to break through when Scola came to defend, and passed the ball to the inner center without looking at anyone in the second step of receiving the ball. The center stood flat and completed a dunk. Flower eraser. Xiao Si rubbed his eyes, is it really fake? Did you read it correctly? What is the Yixia branch? Following the example of a gourd painting gourd. Manu provided 2 assists at the beginning, and Li Luyao also directly provided a similar burst assist. And it seems more coquettish. Dayao was stunned for a moment, then immediately shouted and applauded, happier than scoring a goal himself. Bull batch. This is a joint training site. Li Luyao just showed off the ball and dropped Manu. If someone takes this picture and puts it in China, it will have to be boasted about for several years. Being passed by Manu is not embarrassing, but passing Manu is something. Is Huaxia point guard so agile in dribbling? R.C. Buford raised his eyebrows. They also examined Huaxia players, but the result was a blank slate. In the field of backcourt, Huaxia has no genius-level players. This directly activated the Silver Emblem Rhythm Master, and with a sudden reversal of the rhythm, Li Luyao was very excited. This proved that he truly possessed the ability of 7 trigrams Crawford. Manu Ping patted his chest quietly, indicating that the ball was mine. This is not over yet. In the next round, the opponent's attack on the basket failed. Li Luyao used his excellent jumping and arm stretching to grab the rebound, which made Manu anxious. He didn't even keep an eye on his own person. But Li Luyao doesn't care much about it. His playing style is vastly different from traditional Chinese defenders, as he quickly releases the ball from behind to start a sprint after grabbing the rebound. I'm really a bad luck maniac, even releasing the ball subconsciously comes from behind. Grab the rebounds and run wild. My teammates were stunned, no one in this era plays like this. Luyao, slow down, pay attention to mistakes. There is no coach for this kind of game, and Dayao is foolish to watch from the side. Can a Chinese defender play like this? Their expectation is that Li Luyao's level of transformation into a little Li flying dagger like Li Nan is fortunate. As a result, Li Luyao boldly held the ball and quickly attacked. Manu's reaction speed was also super fast, he caught up directly, and his speed was not slower than that of the young man in white. The opposing point guard attempted to create an offensive foul on Li Luyao's path, but Li Luyao made a crotch turn to activate the Dodge Terminator bronze badge without slowing down and bypassed him. After entering the free throw line, he saw Manu rushing towards him, preparing to block the ball, and then came up with a stunning move to beat 6. In the first step of starting, it turned into pulling the ball from behind. With his right hand, he pulled the ball to his left hand and made a sudden stop. In that moment, he tricked Manu into flying directly. Before he could land, Li Luyao made a coherent move and stepped on the third step, then switched to the left side and easily licked the basket with his right hand. At this moment, Manu landed from the right side, he was completely deceived. Oh, my God. Dunleavy. I didn't read it wrong, did I, jumping around the ball from behind for a layup. After scoring the goal, Li Luyao and Dayao on the sidelines gave him a graceful high five, feeling that he was all graceful. This is the skill that a defender should have. It's not traditional, and personal strength will always come first. They are all players with a flowing style, who is worse than who? Xiao Si directly touched his head and said, "Is it okay to be handsome and explode?" Almost all the scouts began to ask each other, who is this guy? He's so awesome. Rocket Scout. Li, Bruce Lee's Lee. Bruce Lee, that Lee. I remember him. P.S. Newcomers, new books, flowers, recommended tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Chapter 6. The Power of the 7 Sudden Revolutions, Amazing at One Time, New Book. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. The Power of the 7 Sudden Swords, Striving for Surprise, New Book on the Road, Seeking Everything. If the backluck breakthrough in scoring just now were accidental, then this time the continuous control of the ball changed direction and ultimately achieved a personal scoring offensive performance, which showcased everyone. Where did this defender come from? It has become an undeniable fact that the guards of this year's rookies have collectively crossed over. If a powerful little black guard suddenly emerges, it will be okay. Is it a yellow guard? It's a bit surprising to them. In this era, Europe and America have almost no memory of yellow-back players, that is, no one can earn their respect. Perhaps Chinese Jordan Hu Weidong can, but Hu Weidong did not go to the NBA due to injury and never set foot in the United States. Simply put, no one has ever played against such a powerful yellow back. So some scouts are already flipping through the information to see the list of candidates for this draft. They are 197 tall, 211 arm span, and have a body fat percentage of 7.6%. No wonder they look so relaxed and energetic. This static talent is amazing. Is this the rhythm of Taobao in the last moment? David Stern couldn't sit still and began to stand up to watch. What does it mean to have a dark horse in this last joint trial? This means that there may be significant changes in the pre-selection order. As long as a team suddenly wants a player who is not within the scope of the first-round discussion, it will be very exciting. And the NBA, what it wants is this kind of excitement. Don't deliberately arrange it. David Stern withdrew his command, and now it seems that Li Luyao himself can win everything. Okay. The assistants were all interested in watching it, and the coquettish movements were always the most eye-catching on the basketball court. The next few minutes further proved this point. Li Luyao, as a point guard, has a height that directly serves as a point guard. Not only can he smoothly dribble the ball, but he can also easily resolve Manu's tight defense. With one hand, he dribbles continuously behind the back, causing players around him to exclaim in surprise. Change direction in front of the body and charge into the inner line, and hit a high-difficulty layup in the confrontation. Manu responded by cleverly breaking through with a nimble snake step from Sam God. Li Luyao received an empty pass from the bottom corner, glanced at the frame, and made a handsome jump shot, scoring a three-pointer. It seems that the projection ability is also good. This ball belongs to teammates who have started to trust him, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to pass it to this unfamiliar foreigner even if he played 3 times. Dazzling, but can't even Manu break it? Can't Manu intentionally let this Chinese person go? Standermare. It's not possible, Manu is going crazy and even the future boss Duncan is being beaten. No wonder others think so. In the World Championships, Manu Ginobili is a defense against players like Wade and Kidd. They are all NBA super guards, and in this situation, Manu has restricted them very well. And now Li Luyao is almost double scoring and has reached 3 assists. Manu Ginobili, as it was his first time coming to trial with a rookie, didn't know how unknown Li Luyao was before. His current feeling is, this person is very strong. In these rounds of head-on confrontation, he has slowly entered a state of form, and he is also a young man in his early 20s. How could he allow anyone to flaunt himself? But he found that even if he tried his best to steal his dribbling, the Chinese player on the other side could easily resolve it, with excellent ball control, which reminded him of Iverson in the World Cup. His dribbling was not something anyone wanted to steal. So later on, he decided to launch a breakthrough defense, and the effect was still good. This is the Demon Sword, a man who plays with a ball dealer. There is no need to really show how strong you are as the king of Europe, just limit your own people. When Li Luyao distributed the ball to his teammates clearly couldn't finish it, and his shooting percentage was too poor. In this round, most of his teammates predicted that they would be selected by the end of the second round. Manu is still experienced. On the attacking end, he is carefree, stable in ball control, and uses his strong body to rely on Li Luyao to find opportunities. He has completed multiple collaborations with Scola. Now, it is still too difficult for Li Luyao to defend against the Demon Sword. There are 2 types of players. The killer who has experienced countless battles and returned with a gold medal, the rookie who hasn't played a professional game, and the Crawford card doesn't have much defense bonus. If Crawford had a better defense, it wouldn't have been his current achievement. But it doesn't matter, okay. In the eyes of the audience on the sidelines, Li Luyao has been playing against the King of Europe back and forth. Mutual explosion. My personal strength is too outstanding in the white team. Dayao has been in a foolish state from the beginning until now. Li Luyao's mentality in this game is better than any trial. He's not at all cowardly. He's just pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. He dares to do anything. You know, this kind of bad luck, if you make a mistake once, it's too obvious. Especially under the watchful eyes of so many scouts, if you make a dribbling mistake, just wait to be eliminated. Daring to show off in front of such top defenders represents a kind of strength in itself. Rocket General Manager and General Manager Carol Dawson also think the same way. Manu cannot be selected by other teams anymore, but this Li and Manu have played back and forth. It is worth considering Yao Ming's proposal to package and sign Li Luyao. He called Rocket's veteran scout Mo Lei over and said, "Hey, go and contact Yao's team. We need to communicate with this Li tonight." Mo Lei smiled obsequiously and said, "Good manager." The 21 points on the field were quickly played out. Butler missed 3 runs, Scola passed a long pass to Manu, and Manu took a 3-threat probing step and lifted his hand for 3 runs to finish, defeating the white team led by Li Luyao. This kind of win or loss is not important. What's important is that everyone saw the wonderful performance of the Argentine Magic Sword and also saw a stunning dark horse. After scoring the goal, Manu blinked at Li Luyao, indicating that you were still a bit tender. The funniest thing is that Li Luyao even said a garbage sentence. "The next time we meet, it's me who won over you." Waiting for you. Manu smiled and took off his black training uniform, which was wearing the Spurs number 20 jersey. He will officially represent the Spurs this season. Li Luyao was supposed to continue playing the next game, but after seeing his performance, a group of defenders who were afraid to play just now rushed to show themselves. Li Luyao helped them find confidence. Even such a yellow-skinned defender can play like this, why can't we? It's nothing, let them fight. People should have self-awareness. If you have the strength to show off, it's a show. If you don't have the strength to show off forcefully, it's a clown. At this point, the system also pops up a conversation. Congratulations to the host for completing an NBA-level game. You can choose one player from your opponent to receive that player's card. PS, newcomers, new books, flowers, recommended tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Chapter 7. Jordan, I need you. On the new book. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Jordan, I need you. New book on the road, seek everything. By the way, what's your name? Just call me Li. Manu asked a question that everyone wanted to ask. Everyone still doesn't know who this previously silent person was, but now they know. Manu didn't continue playing, but went off to chat with R.C. Buford. R.C. Buford instructed Manu not to play with Scola, and Scola continued to play one game. Li Luyao also saw it in his eyes. Scola had some difficulty in the match just now, the confrontation was clearly weak, and scoring goals was more like eating cake. If I remember correctly, the Spurs did indeed choose Scola this year, but they also wanted to follow the previous Manu model and let Scola travel abroad for a few years. This led to Diamonds officially landing in the NBA in 2007. This is a common practice nowadays, to make the player you want perform better, so as not to be intercepted. After Li Luyao stepped off the field, Dayao pulled him aside and handed him water. Luyao. I didn't see it, do you still have this skill, kid? Basic operation, sit down. Li Luyao took a sip of water and looked around, with many eyes in the audience intentionally or unintentionally focused on him. The other rookies didn't come over, they were all competitors, but they also took a few more glances at Li Luyao's side. This style of guard is the first time they have seen it in this draft. Several defenders looked at Li Luyao as if he was facing a formidable enemy, and this young man from China is likely to make the team who wants to choose them change their mind. Dayao is not as steady as he was after becoming the leader of the Basketball Association, but instead transforms into a talkative person, constantly asking Li Luyao when he practiced and how he achieved this kind of bad luck. When did you control the ball so well? You can even enter the national team with your skills. Plus your stable open space shooting, you can definitely pick it this time. Li Luyao. Hello, Dayao, why are you even more excited than me? I'm happy for you. Others don't know, but I see you training in the gym and basketball court every day. As a self-help individual, Li Luyao was able to come to the United States for a reason. When he was in China, he trained for more than 8 hours every day in the gym and on the court. He couldn't do anything else, but he developed a precise spatial projection ability. During training, he was able to make 90 out of 100 shots. This is a requirement for training in Huaxia, no matter what other skills you have, practice projection first. Dayao originally thought that with this diligent attitude, even if Li Luyao couldn't do it this year, he would definitely be able to be selected in a few years when he was his age. Unexpectedly becoming a genius player in an instant. This young man from Warcraft's Thief 6 is only 18 years old. In fact, the communication between the Basketball Association and the Dayao team was to let Luyao practice in the Development League, but just now they had an equal advantage in attacking with the gold medal guard at the World Championships. This is the rhythm of playing NBA with Yao. John Heisinger, the white agent of Dayao next to him, also came over to chat. Judging from the serious lack of defenders this year, the probability of Li Luyao being selected will greatly increase. After today's joint trial, 100% of teams will come to look for him. Including the Houston Rockets, whom they have been communicating with all along before. Professor John Heisinger is a PhD in economics, responsible for the foreign brokerage of Dayao, while our familiar Zhang Mingji is responsible for the domestic brokerage affairs of Dayao. Both of them are very good to Li Luyao. Let's talk about this, it's a bit tiring. I still have to participate in the 3v3 trial later. Li Luyao didn't talk much because he was eager to check the system. John Heisinger was also stunned for a moment, feeling that Li Luyao seemed different from before. If he had heard a team looking for him before, he probably would have been rushing to learn more. Is this showing confidence? John Heisinger complained to Yao Roast, you have to remind him that Manu has never played in the NBA, so don't be arrogant. Yao Ming shook his head and said, no, he's dribbling the most smoothly I've ever seen. The two of them looked at this handsome and white young man. Will he really become a flowing maple-like figure in China? System, I choose Manuka. Rewards have been distributed. Congratulations to the host for receiving 111 Tug Ginobili star card with a change in host attributes. Okay, let me take a look. Sweating profusely, Li Luyao opened the system and found that a sudden surge of mana had actually benefited him. Although E2 Manu does not have a badge, he still has many higher attributes than himself and Crawford 7-2. Speed. 84 plus 2 bounce. 84 plus 3 outbreak. 27 plus 2 passing. 80 plus 1 backboard. 30 plus 1 defense. 51 plus 2 cover. 39 plus 3 it's okay. After communicating with the system, he realized that this speed was not an absolute speed, which is why he received a bonus. This is Manu's first step in breakthrough speed, which also refers to the explosive power under breakthrough confrontation. Manu is much stronger than Crawford in this regard. Everyone who watches the game knows that Manu likes to find matches, and Crawford likes to knock out opponents before playing again. In that case, I'll play a few more games with Manu and try to create a three-pronged Manu. Thinking of this, Li Luyao felt that there was no time to miss. This kind of training game where only 21 points can be played in one game is much more affordable than the NBA regular season. We need to quickly call Manu over as a card-swiping tool. E2 Manu is so useful, so. What about E2 Jordan? Now that Master Chiao is still playing with the Wizards, he only needs to play a game with them or join them in a training match to get a Jordan star card. Mr. Chiao, I need you. For you, I must play NBA this year. Hey Manu, will we have another fight later? P.S. Newcomers, new books, flowers, recommended tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Chapter 8. The Power of the Seven Emblems, 8th Watch. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. The Power of the Seven Emblems, 8th Watch, new book on the road, seeking everything. Manu, who was sitting in the audience, was momentarily stunned, but R.C. Buford next to him pushed him and said, go ahead. Manu responded to Li Luyao, okay, come on. When the two of them said this, Xiaoxi, Dayao, Boozer and others all rushed to the field. Xiaoxi wanted to play as a flashy defender, while Dayao wanted to play with Li Luyao. So the last training match that followed was full of highlights, which also caused Li Luyao's ball power to be scattered and his play to be chaotic. He played with Dayao, Deng Liwei, and top guard Jay Williams. That's Manu, Serena, and Butler over there, quite reminiscent of Nash and Serena. This is also the last full 5v5 training match of this joint trial. Li Luyao, who had a sudden boost, defeated Manu and ultimately achieved a good record of 5 points and 3 assists. Dayao performed well in the interior, scoring 8 points and rebounding 4 times, successfully helping Li Luyao seek revenge and defeating the Manu team 21.17. This game is so fun. The opponent is the Huashan team, and Manu has made multiple seconds to pass Xiaoxi to cut and dunk. This is the first time Huaxia team has cooperated, and the cooperation is also good. The main thing is that Dayao's hand is too close. In fact, Li Lu's chances of remote control were reduced by half after the official point guard came up, but he belongs to the type that cherishes opportunities and has fewer mistakes. However, due to Xiao Xi's strong defensive ability, he scored a three-pointer and a fast break dunk. Even though he doesn't score much, he is still the most eye-catching young man because his playing style is too flashy. Even some ordinary moves give off a feeling of running back and forth like wind. The Maverick scout has made modifications to his scouting report. The first step is fast, combining strong ball skills and a stylish playing style. Template. Crawford. The deputy general manager of the Magic team chuckled and said, "With this arm span and this change of direction, will it become a higher version of Iverson? I'm looking forward to it a bit." In the end, he ended the ball for Dayao and even shook the opponent's point guard out of the way. Xiaohe quickly stood up and said it was because the sole of his shoe was too slippery. The magnitude of the change of direction, no one else present besides Manu could make such a significant crossover. Manu's scouting report also enriches a lot of content, and each team's scouting report is a different treasure trove. Although we cannot choose him this season, we can study him in advance. R.C. Buford is sitting firmly on the fishing platform, and Manu was originally called over to practice with him. Isn't the opportunity for free exercise enjoyable? What he is currently considering is the draft ranking of this LI and whether they should take action or not. From today's perspective, there is absolutely no problem with Li Luyao's second-round draft. The problem is that the Spurs now have a pile of defenders, so he is very conflicted. He really wants to use the draft rights at the end of this second round to choose Li Luyao, but Scola is also a future substitute they lack. There was no way, but in the end he had to make a phone call to some old man in San Antonio. The joint trial here has ended, and all players have signed in to confirm that they will attend the draft or be elsewhere in 14 days, so that the league can prepare in advance. Li Luyao and Yao Ming both stated that they would wait directly on site for the results, while Dayao was in the front row of the small greenhouse. Here's a change from reality. Realistic Dayao was selected for live streaming on Magic City TV. Originally, Li Luyao had no need to go to the venue. It was very likely that he was signed at a low price by the Rocket Development League after losing the draft, but he now has enough confidence to go to the venue on the day of the draft. Just kidding, now he has the strength of Crawford 7 and Manu 2. If we examine him for another 2 months, he will definitely be in the top 10 ranking. He is not completely arrogant. When filling out the final registration form, he kept recalling the details of the previous 2 games in his mind, such as insufficient confrontation and unstable dribbling and shooting, both of which could be practiced. The first one requires more effort, and the second one requires him to adapt to the attribute bonus of K6. After all, in his previous playing style, he had never used his own offensive method of holding the ball, attacking and shooting, and at most, he only took a jump shot while receiving the ball. He traveled here in 2020, and his understanding is much more scientific than it is now. And also the badges are really useful. Itamanu doesn't have any special bonus feeling, but the bonus brought by the emblem of Chi to Crawford is really amazing. It's so exciting to suddenly activate the badge and complete the action in this kind of competition. Stunt actor. All special layup actions will have a hit rate bonus. It should be noted that if the action is changed during a special layup, the changed layup hit rate will require practice to enhance the badge effect. Dodge Terminator. This is simple. If confronting the Terminator is in the Weixiao style, then dodging the Terminator is in the Owen style. Dodging the Terminator reduces the chance of physical collisions with the defender, and also avoids the attribute effects of physical confrontation high difficulty shooting king. Literally. King of fake actions. Literally, the street hockey players are best at fake actions. Rhythm Master. This is a badge that looks a bit like a hot start, but it doesn't have that high risk. As long as there are a few ball controls and shots, regardless of whether they are hit or not, you will receive a projection attribute bonus, which will also accumulate like a snowball. Therefore, this badge is accumulated through a large number of shots to obtain better attribute bonuses. Emergency Stop Master. Improve the efficiency of emergency stop and start. The advanced version of this badge is the king of ultra-large purple badges, and Li Luyao only remembers McGrady having this badge. Of course, the K6 dry pull is also very good. Control Master. This is a dribbling badge designed to make dribbling faster and harder to steal. This is Li Luyao's favorite badge because it makes his ball control very relaxed, and even a cross-dribbling can make the opponent nervous and stumble. So far, the Golden Emblem Ankle Terminator has not been activated, and this badge seems to require more dribbling movements to complete, which will require further research by Li Luyao. The badge is truly fragrant, and he also needs to play more games. In summary, the first snow of 2002 walked much earlier than before. Li, someone is looking for you. The grades are dismal. Is anyone really watching? If anyone is watching, please ask the big shots to give a vote of support with fresh flowers, but there is no movement. The plot is slowly unfolding and it will become more and more enjoyable. Seeking all kinds of support. Chapter 9. Multi-team contact, trial invitation, seeking to play. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Multi-team contact, trial invitation, seeking rewards, flowers, tickets. Li Luyao and Dayao practiced on the field until the security guards called for them to leave. The last joint training has come to a complete end. Dayao's agent Zhang Mingji booked a hotel for them and they ate together at a Chinese restaurant. Yao Ming's height is always the focus, but now the focus of their conversation is a pure white boy next to the giant. The chubby Zhang Mingji looked at Li Luyao with a smile on his face, and when he came up, he said, "Mr. John Heisinger has already told me, you're amazing, right? It seems like I'm going to exceed the task given to me by the Basketball Association. What's wrong with this? Joint training is about showcasing oneself." Zhang Mingji was taken aback for a moment and thought to himself, you didn't perform like this before. Then he expressed why the Basketball Association would magnify Yao's entry into the NBA, and surprisingly, there is also the reason for Li Luyao, because they need to cultivate reserve talents for the national team. Veterans such as Hu Weidong are already plagued with injuries, so someone must take over. The dilemma on the defender's side is already burning. Originally, it was impossible for the Magic to magnify Yao's departure from the team, as various factors combined with the help of the Basketball Association's Jiang Xingquan and others were sufficient. The agreement that the Basketball Association helped is that Zhang Mingji's team must let Li Luyao play in the NBA. I understand, thank you, come on, let me give you some insider information. In this era of basketball, everyone understands that the local perspective will not be so far. Zhang Mingji said in Chinese, actually, there's not much inside information. You're already the chosen son of China, and I didn't expect you to actually come out. This is very surprising and exciting for me. You should know that I made the final effort for you a few days ago, allowing the Rockets to select you for training in the second round. After all, your physical fitness is not bad, but do you know what they said? Hee. Dayao's gaze signaled to Zhang Mingji not to say anything, but the chubby man was straightforward. They said that Dayao will definitely be selected by them as the top scorer, but choosing you is like a lottery. They won't waste a second-round draft opportunity to choose a player who hasn't played a professional game before, TMD. Zhang Mingji's tone changes. But, now they're begging to find you through me. Li Luyao shook his head, everything cannot escape the law of true fragrance. However, after all, Zhang Mingji is not Li Luyao's agent, he just gave Li Luyao his contact information. Li Luyao didn't rush to call, but when he returned to the hotel, Dayao suddenly asked, Luyao, do you want to team up with me? Not necessarily, Li Luyao shook his finger. At this moment, Yao Ming gave a relieved expression and said, "That's fine. What should you do?" "I actually want to see who is stronger as our team leader." Li Luyao blinked his eyes and said, "Sleeping slot, do you look up to me so much?" Dayao is likely to become the starting lineup because Olajuwon has just retired and there are no players in the Rockets, but Li Luyao may not even know who his next team is. Before Dayao could speak, he continued. "Okay, for the sake of how you look up to me, how about encountering Xiao Mao in the NBA in the future?" "You." When Dayao wanted to get angry, Li Luyao had already crawled into the room. 2 days later, a few people finally found Li Luyao. Li Luyao thought to himself that this efficiency is really too slow. He has been waiting these days to see if any teams are looking for him, and then comparing them together. If it weren't for the underdevelopment of the internet and smartphones nowadays, otherwise by 2020, various videos such as his trial training of Huang Fei Pan Pasxiong would have spread to every corner of the world. This is something he hasn't gotten used to yet. In his era, this last trial would have been hyped up by domestic media, with various headlines like, "China's twin stars famous in the NBA, flying everywhere," and Weibo fans reaching over 1 million, all of which were simple. Then major media outlets, journalists, and fans all gathered around him, boasting that he was the top point guard in Asia without hesitation. And now, mobile phones are still like brick-and-mortar Nokia, not to mention shooting functions and social networking. More information sources can only be found through morning newspapers. It can be said that half of the Chinese fans now do not know that a guy named Li Luyao also participated in this draft with Dayao, let alone that he played around with the Argentine sword on TV during the trial. So only the group of people on the field who contacted Li Luyao that day. This is the most primitive way for scouts to Taobao. To watch the game on site. There are no videos or reports, we can only rely on our naked eyes to watch. R.C. Buford personally went to the Italian Serie A to watch the Manu game, and went to the F National League to watch the Parker game. Only then did he discover these two talented international players, and slowly opened the way for overseas. Taobao. Dayao was also discovered by the Rockets' general manager at the Magic City scene. "Okay, that way I shouldn't be too flustered." Li Luyao looked at the call records and some of today's meetings with his Motorola, lost in thought. 4 teams have contacted him. If this news is known to the outside world, it is likely to explode. If it spreads, it can really make headlines on the sports page of domestic newspapers. Because Li Luyao received invitations from 4 teams based solely on his performance in a joint trial. This Nima has never heard of before. Even the team owner thinks these scouts and managers are crazy. How strong is it in real life to contact a Chinese player who is completely out of their sight before the draft starts? Are you crazy? Anyway, David Stern replied to these bosses like this. He deserves you to go crazy. P.S. Guess which team the protagonist will join. P.S. Newcomers, new books, flowers, recommended tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Chapter 10. Li Luyao's Pride, new book for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Li Luyao's Pride, new book for collection. The first person to find Li Luyao was not the Spurs or Rockets, but the Dallas Mavericks. Their scout found Li Luyao on the field in New York and then went to the hotel to have a personal conversation with Mavericks owner Cuban. Because the draft conference was about to start in a week, and the team owners also rushed to New York for on-site operations, Li Luyao went directly to meet with this famous owner and general manager. Of course, Cuban still looks like a handsome entrepreneur today. He only acquired the Mavericks in 2000 and is about to show off his skills. For such entrepreneurs, every second is money. He chatted quickly with Li Luyao because the Mavericks did not have draft picks this year. According to Cuban, the Mavericks risked all their efforts to win the championship, and the draft picks were used to add role players to Nash and Nowitzki's lineup. The common idea between Tang Nielsen and Cuban is to find a defender with a similar style to Nash as a backup before his contract expires. No one can be sure if Nash's contract will expire next year and he will leave the Mavericks, but the Maverick scout immediately caught the attention of executives when he saw a tall international player guard with a playing style similar to Nash's. Is there a Chinese rookie with a Jordan physique? Do you still have good ball players and ball control skills? International players they like, so the boss personally chatted with Li Luyao to show sincerity. Cuban stared at Li Luyao and expressed his thoughts, "We don't have draft picks, but we will definitely sign you in the free market and give you a two-way contract to play in the development league. If the team needs you, there will be a chance to call you back to the NBA to play. What do you think?" Li Luyao's response was also very simple. "I'm considering it. What I'm thinking in my heart is that you don't have the right to draft. You can't let me lose, can you? That's too embarrassing." Cuban's character is still good. He politely shook hands with Li Luyao and said goodbye. "We had a chance encounter, so let's first improve our relationship." The NBA is a big network of interpersonal relationships. The second boss to contact him is Rocket boss Alexander. General Manager Carol Dawson is chatting with Li Luyao at a coffee shop. The boss is listening on the phone, and next to him is a fat white man who Li Luyao hasn't even glanced at. In addition to the first overall pick, they also have a second-round 9. Overall pick, and even split into 2 second-round final picks. It's also very simple. Let's go to Houston for a solo trial now, and finally decide whether to choose Li Luyao or not. If it's for the Rockets, I won't consider it, thank you. Li Luyao directly expressed his unwillingness to go to the Rockets after chatting with Dayao last night. The scout next to him, Mo Lei, was stunned for a moment before getting up and muttering, "Hey. Don't even offer you a job opportunity. Don't you know that people on your side are begging us to recruit you?" Li Luyao gave him a cold glance and said, "What I think is up to me. You can just shut up." Mo Lei was shut out, and he was completely dumbfounded. "Are you sure he's a rookie?" In front of the rookies, these top-notch scouts are like dads, and are there any rookies who dare to talk back to him? If it was Dayao who said he would hold back, but now he's planning to curse directly. Carol Dawson gestured for him to step down and said, "Forget it. Since Mr. Li doesn't have the intention, forget it. I hope you can find a suitable team." The reason why Carol Dawson didn't give Li Luyao a bad face is that he and Dayao are good friends. Although Yao will be chosen by them no matter what, they can't let Yao develop an aversion towards the team. At this moment, Alexander spoke on the phone. "Young man, I understand your thoughts, but here we are, it will make you and Yao shine. Are you sure you don't consider it?" He also didn't expect a rookie to not consider the Rockets. Although the Rockets had a poor record last year, they also have a championship bonus, okay. Li Luyao smiled and replied, "Mr. Alexander, let Dayao be the leader of the Rockets. One mountain cannot tolerate 2 tigers." "What? Boss?" Rocket general manager and Mo Lei's faces all changed. The expression betrayed them. The meaning is, are you talking about divine horses? Want to become the boss level? This confidence. Carol Dawson laughed angrily and said, "Do you think you've played 2 training games and everyone wants you? Do you think you can definitely play in the NBA at your level? Don't lose out and nobody wants you. Finally, come and beg me." Mo Lei didn't say anything this time because he received a tip-off that if Li Luyao didn't have anyone to ask for it, the CAF would have wanted it, so he immediately contacted Li Luyao. Li Luyao said, "I'm just being honest. Maybe I can't play now, but my progress speed will surprise you." This is his unique arrogance, and with the system, his temperament has changed, possessing a confidence that ordinary rookies cannot possess. Don't let him play in the NBA. As long as he plays in the game, theoretically it can be infinitely strengthened. Okay, I'll wait and see. Carol Dawson and Alexander remained silent. Li Luyao, on the other hand, smiled in his youth and said, "See you in the regular season, take care of Yao." Mo Lei couldn't help but take a breath and said, "You don't need to say it. Goodbye." Li Luyao left, but after learning that Mo Lei is now a senior scout for the Rockets, he has no interest in the Rockets at all. If we talk about his attitude just now, it's just a pure dislike of Mo Lei. This person will have been in charge of the Rockets for many years and have done a lot of bad things in the future. If possible, he even wants Dayao to change his view of the Rockets and get out of the Rockets early after the rookie season. Don't hang on to a tree. But others speak lightly. It is impossible to change the views of Dayao and his management team now. The most fun was the third team, which Li Luyao took the initiative to find. After hearing that Manu was still in New York, he went to the Manu Hotel restaurant and blocked the long-haired bald man like a paparazzi. Manu was stunned for a moment, but he was deeply impressed by Li Luyao, so the two of them decided to have a meal together. Li Luyao's intention was to organize several training matches of this level privately, so that Manu could mobilize his strength and play training matches together. Manu had a question mark on his face. "I have just arrived in the United States and I am not familiar with the place." "That's right. Li Luyao simply craves the 3-2 manuka, and the 2-2 manuka is a bit fragrant. Playing a few more games can make him promoted to the 3 Tuesday." However, at this moment, R.C. Buford happened to come over. The Spurs general manager blinked when he saw Li Luyao and said, "Hey, Li, I happen to be looking for you." Li Luyao looked familiar with the person wearing gold-rimmed glasses, and then looked at Manu's respectful expression towards him. "Good guy, Mr. R.C. Buford. Best general manager. Men from Taobao to Manu, Parker, and Huaxia Betel. Then I had a private conversation with Manu. Then Manu answered Li Luyao like this. Hey buddy, if you want to play training matches, you can come to the Spurs to play. There are plenty of players over there. I'll go to San Antonio tonight, won't we? R.C. Buford walked slowly with a pile of information. Your fellow countryman Betel is also in the Holy City, and the Spurs welcome your arrival. P.S. There is also an invited team, hee. P.S. Newcomers, new books, flowers, recommended tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg.